بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد
صل على محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, as you know, we have started a theme of discussions about Islamic values. We are calling it lectures in Akhlaq-e-Islami, in Akhlaq, the discussions in Akhlaq. And we discussed yesterday that when we look at Akhlaq-e-Islami, it's a science, and it's a very vast area of studies, and these Islamic values or the teachings of Akhlaq-e-Islami are actually divided into four areas. Four areas. The first area is the area of hukuk. The second area is the area of adab. And third, fadail, the virtues. And fourth is opposite to fadail, razail. Razail are those bad habits, the negative values. The negative practices are called razail, the manfi, and the prohibited practices. Whatever we discuss in Akhlaq-e-Islami or in Islamic values, it comes under these four areas of study. And yesterday we began our discussion about hukuk. I mentioned the reference of that beautiful work compiled by Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wassalam, known as Risalatul Hukuk. Risalatul Hukuk was a work compiled by our fourth Imam, where he outlined the rights, the Charter of Rights, and he outlines the 50 rights, very important rights. We will be time to time referring to that work as our reference, as we referred yesterday. So, for a few presentations, we will be talking about hukuk, and then from there we will enter into the other discussions. When it comes to hukuk, Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wassalam puts first the haqq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he says that before we worry about the rights of anyone else, we should first be concerned about the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us. Because after all, He is the one that to whom we owe everything. If we have the bounties, alaykum salam, if we have the blessings, if we have family, if we have parents, if we have children, if we have health, if we have wealth, whatever we have, everything is from Him and because of Him. So we don't owe to anybody more than what we owe to Him. So we owe to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the most, because He is the one that who has given us everything what we have. So he talks about the huququllah. We mentioned yesterday from Risalatul Huquq, where he says that the greatest haqq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course he has countless huquq upon you, but the greatest one of all of his huquq is the haqq that you worship him, you do his ibadat, and you don't do any shirk with him. That is the greatest haqq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon you, that you do his ibadat and you don't take anybody, any entity as sharik with him. We discussed that when it comes to ibadat, many of us, we think ibadat means worship, like praying, or at the most, for example, let's add hajj or fasting, and these sort of ibadat are called ibadat. They are ibadat, no doubt about that, but basically the concept of ibadat is much greater than that, much greater than that. We have smaller ibadats and we have bigger ibadats, and then we have the biggest ibadat. And this system of ibadat is all interrelated with one another. These ibadats which we refer to, for example, salat, is a smaller ibadat. Zakat is ibadat, but it is smaller ibadat. Same as hajj, same as ziyarat. And there are so many other. Speaking truth, helping the people. These are all ibadat, but these are all smaller ibadat. And these ibadat are basically there to train us. These are drills and exercises and small training sessions or training centers or training activities for the bigger ibadat or the biggest ibadat. And what is the biggest ibadat? That is actually training yourself to be the slave and the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in its true sense. That you train yourself to a level where you every time realize that you are a servant and you are in front of your Mawla, your master. And then whatever you do, wherever you are doing as a servant does or as a slave does in front of his master. So when we have this sense of our being slave and servant in front of our master, and then taking his commands, running after his commands, serving him, and being responsible to him, and obediently doing everything what he has commanded us about any area of life. So when we train ourselves and reach to that level, then we become abd. Otherwise we are worshipper. Otherwise we are namaz guzar. We are rozadar. We are not abd yet. If we don't obey him fully in each and every area of life, when we go out, when we are at work, when we are at business, when we are with family, when we are with others, and we just do whatever we want to do, and we don't look at what He is asking from us and what is His command, we don't care about that, so then we are not abd. We are acting freely at our own. We are only namaz guzar, we are only zakat dahinda, we are only someone that who is haji, who is namazi, who is this, who is that, but has still not reached to the level of abdiyat. So if we try to understand the purpose of fasting, the purpose of namaz, the salat, the purpose of hajj, the purpose of zakat, the purpose of homs, all these things what we do is actually to mold us and to bring us to that level where we become His truly abd. That is the prime purpose of all these rulings of Sharia. All this halal and haram and wajib and mustahab and makruh and haram what we have is actually leading us to that point where we become His abd. When we are His abd, meaning we are His servant, then there is no greater honor than that. There is no greater honor than that. We know even Anbiya and messengers of Allah, their greater honor was that they were abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In every day, in our prayer we say, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. First we say abduhu and then we say rasuluh. The important thing is mentioned first. And then also when we see in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about taking His Prophet for the Mi'raj, Subhanallazi asra bi'abdihi laylam min al-masjid al-haram ila al-masjid al-aqsa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about His abd, that He has taken him at Mi'raj. He is not talking He has taken His messenger or His Nabi or... No, He has taken His abd. Ya ayyatuhun nafsul mutmainna. That is the perfect state of any human being. Ya ayyatuhun nafsul mutmainna irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyya fadkhuli fi ibadi wadkhuli jannati. So the greatest position which one can achieve, that is being the abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In its true sense, we are all His abd in one way, that He has created us and He is our owner. So that is, we are His abd. But then training ourselves in a way that we always feel like that. Every time, every minute in our life, we have that sense that I am a slave, I am a servant, and I have a master. And that master is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I am responsible to Him. And I have to conduct my each and every action in my day and night, in my life, whether I'm at home, whether I'm outside, whether I'm alone, whether I'm with people. I have to conduct myself and my life according to His commands. And then I do it. Then I become His abd. And that is the main purpose. That is the purpose. Now we can understand how many prayers we have prayed so far in our life, and how many Ramadans we have fasted, and how many Hajj we have made, and how many ziyarats we have done, and how many other acts of ibadat we have done. If we want to see their output, if we want to see that how good prayers we did, and how good fastings we did, and how good Hajj we did, and how good ziyarats we did, if we want to see the end result of all that ibadat which we have done all along in our life, we have to see from this perspective. How much we have become his abd, in true sense. How much we have become his abd. When we speak, do we have that in our mind that I'm responsible for each and every word? And I am not supposed to say things which he doesn't like. When I look at things, I have that sense that my eyes I am using, these are his given property, and he is my master. And whether he approves this, my looking at this, or how I spend my money, how I earn my money, how I live with people, what is my relationship with my other fellow human beings or non-human beings. So, meaning, am I living as his abd? He is controlling my life, or I am controlling my life? He is controlling my life, he is setting my agenda, or I am setting my agenda. So that is a good way to judge that our prayers, our fastings, our recitations of dua and Quran and Hajj and Ziyarat, how much it was effective. And some of us, maybe we have seen that we have spent our life praying, fasting, Hajj, Ziyarat, everything, but still we have not reached to that level where we can declare ourselves that I am truly his abd. By claim, we can make the claim that I am his abd, but that is not the case. We have to, it should be demonstrated by our life, by our outlook, our mindset, the way we speak, the way we carry ourselves. So keep that in mind. Ibadat is a general term. It is general and it is more wider than worship. We are not created to worship Allah. Allah had created angels for that purpose. We are not created to worship Allah. Worship, we are given the duty of worship actually to train ourselves and to tame ourselves. And worship is for us is not purpose. For angels it is a purpose. For us worship is not purpose. For us worship is only a drill, only an exercise, only a training to change us, to train us to be his abd, his servants and his slaves. And the relationship of servant and master, or the slave and master, is that master owns everything. You have nothing. Everything is his property. You yourself are his property. That's what, there is a beautiful poetry of Ghalib. I'm not good with poetry, but somewhere he says that when he talks about giving, that जान भी दी तो दी हूँ उसी की थी, हक तो ये है कि हक अदा न हुआ. So meaning, if you think that you are giving something in his way and it's a big deal, he said, mal, just leave mal aside. Even if you give your life in his way, still it's not a big deal, because it was not yours. This was also his given. So you are returning back to him. So what did you do? So that is the sense of abdiyat. That is why, there is where you see Anbiya, after sacrificing their everything, they are still begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that was all what I could do, and I hope you will accept it. Instead of bragging, instead of thinking that, oh, I have done this for Allah, now I owe my Allah, or Allah owes me something. No. Anbiya are still feeling that was not much. Or they are still giving thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you give us this opportunity to serve you. We see in Karbala, the Lady Zainab Salamullah alayha, Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wassalam, when Sayyidah comes in the Maqtal, the day when they are leaving for Kufa, and she looks around, she says, Allahumma taqabbal minna hazal qurban. Oh our Lord, this is what we could do. So please accept this sacrifice from us. Again, she is making dua that you accept this. So this change happens when we have that kind of outlook, that we have nothing. Our parents are His given. Our awlad are His given. Our own existence is because of Him. Wealth, what we have, is again rizq from Him. My talent, my power, my ability, everything what I have is from Him. I have nothing. Everything is blessing, everything is bounty, everything is a ni'mat, everything is given. Who is the giver? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why, even if we give up and we give back or we give in His way everything, still we need to again beg that please accept it. Please accept it. After giving everything. And it is up to Him to accept or to reject. Because He is Master. Nobody can ask Him. So that is the sense of abdiyat. This is abdiyat. And this is what Anbiya had and A'imma had. This sense of humility. That azamat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a master, and then feeling for themselves so much humbleness. So, we try to understand that ibadat, two meanings of ibadat. Worship, which is just a tool. It is a tool. And the end is reaching to a point where we truly become His abd. Totally a tool in His hands. Totally at His disposal. And then again, this is His karam. That He doesn't ask us that, no, since you have become only my slave, no, you do nothing else other than just be with me. No, He says, no. You have to take care of your parents, you have to take care of your spouse, you have to take care of your children, you have to work, you have to do business, you have to enjoy the life, eat well, sleep well, and also enjoy my bounties and blessings and rizq and rozi and enjoy what I have given to you. And this all becomes ibadat. That is the beauty of it. No, every minute spent in the service of parents is ibadat. Every minute spent with your spouse becomes ibadat. Every minute spent with your child becomes ibadat. Every minute spent